In today's class, I wanted us to look at, oh, look at the bill. It's going up. In today's class, I wanted us to look at EC2 Windows. So we've been doing Linux, a lot of Linux commands and stuff. There's a cheat sheet for Linux commands. I hope you guys are practicing. But today I wanted us to create Windows because some companies use Windows as well. Those companies that use Windows, you hear in an interview, they will say we are a Microsoft shop. When you're in an interview and the director or the manager tells you, well, Microsoft shop means that they're heavy. Sorry, let me get some water, guys. Sorry. It means that Microsoft shop, right? Microsoft Windows, Microsoft SQL Server means most of their stuff is Microsoft, but they say they have like 5% and shouldn't worry. Windows is very easy, actually. Windows is actually very easy because as you know, you use Windows laptop every day. So you know how to use Windows laptop. So, it's very easy. So let's go ahead and create Windows laptop. No, Windows server, not laptop, sorry, Windows server. Oh, I have a Linux instance running here. Uh, I see why they're charging me. Should terminate. I forgot to terminate. So let's terminate this real quick. So you can just watch while I'm doing it right now, and then I'll do it again the second time, and then while it's about sharing on screen, and everyone will follow through, and then we'll connect to it. Okay, just watch what I'm doing for the first time, please. So I'm launching instances. I'm gonna call this my Windows server. And then, yeah, I'm going to choose Windows right here. You see, this is where you choose operating system, Windows. And we don't want to choose the most recent version of Windows, right? As you guys know, right? Choosing the most recent software uh is, is not stable, right? So the most recent software doesn't really it's not a good thing because it's not stable pretty much, right? Like 2025, we know right now it's not stable. So we want to choose something a little bit older that we know is stable. Um, as far as I know, I've used 2016 on a production environment. And when I say production environment, it means a live environment, right? We call live environment that customers are using in real production in business. Like that's what's called production environment, right? So we're gonna choose 2016 or 2019, but you want to make sure you choose the base version. The core version has some extra things installed in it that you may need or you may not need, but in the interview, they say, what versions of Windows have you used? You mentioned like Microsoft Windows Server 2016 base, right? Or 2019 base. We can use 2019 or 2016, but let's take 2016, okay? We're gonna choose 2016. My system is a little bit slow. And I'll leave it at T2 micro. I'm gonna create a new key pair and call this my Windows key pair. Create that key pair, download that key pair. Because I'm gonna use it to connect. Very important. And then select an existing security group, or just create a new one actually. And allow HTTPS, allow traffic from the internet, and default is everything is default, and that's it. Launch. It's going to take about 3 to 4 minutes to create. And while that's creating, um, I wanted us to look at some jobs to keep us motivated, right? Um, you look at cloud SRE, cloud site reliability engineer, cloud site reliability engineer. Search for those type of jobs. You can see here you have Namecheap is a domain name service. They have on call. Ooh, they have on call. It's 100% remote as long as you're in the Eastern time zone or Central time zone. The interview process is the 4-week process will have 4 stages that includes a 45 minutes chat with the HR. So HR interview for 45 minutes about values and technical values, about values, and then technical chat, home task for the 5 minutes and can interview. Technologies are Linux, Kubernetes, CI/CD, Prometheus, Helm, and Bash. We have done Linux, we have done Prometheus, and we've done Bash. The command line is Bash. You're reporting to the cloud SRE team leader. You join a team of 7 colleagues. So cloud SRE lead and 5 class SRE, including you. What you bring to the team, you have to be kind, empathic. Empathy means like feel sorry for other people. Like empathy is like feel sorry for other people. Don't be, I don't know. Speaking of me, feel sorry for other people. Willing to learn new things, proficiency in command line. Command line. This is Linux. I thought keep telling about command line. This is it. I asking for here. Nix systems, Linux, Ubuntu, Git. Experience with Kubernetes. We're going to do this at the end because it's important, but at the end, Docker and, monitoring tools such as Prometheus. Prometheus. If I were you, Prometheus is like, you know how every car has a steering wheel? Yeah? Every car has a steering wheel. Mercedes has a steering wheel. Toyota has a steering wheel. That's Prometheus. All these companies, Datadog, New Relic, they use Prometheus to build their software and sell it because Prometheus is free. They take Prometheus and they develop some enterprise software and put some colorful things in there and look nice, and then just sell it to you. Sell it to companies. That's what it is. So most companies will ask you for Prometheus and Grafana. Prometheus is the monitoring tool that collects the logs, and Grafana is a dashboarding tool. And then alert manager. You guys have done this. You did it in your project, even though you did not succeed, but you did it. I'll advise you to continue practicing it on your own. After you've done a project together, go back on your own and look at the way that you do it. You can record a call as well. You guys are allowed to record on the Zoom. When you record in the cloud, or if, let's say, Kwasi records on his laptop, after class, you can say, hey, Diba, I want to upload it to YouTube. And then I'll give you access to upload to YouTube. Or record it in the cloud, and then you log into the Zoom. Roslyn has a password, username and password. Log into the Zoom account and listen to the recording. Right? So that's what it is, right? So, and then obviously Bash scripting is something that I'm going to talk about. And that's pretty much it. Knowledge of AWS, knowledge of this experience with this thing, enterprise, Ansible Terraform, where we'll do it at the end, and then, knowledge of some programming. When they say experience, it means that you have done it. When they say knowledge, it means that you have not done it, but you just know of it. It's 2 different things. So this is very important skill, teaching you how to understand job descriptions so that you're not discouraged. Knowledge of AWS means you know AWS. The word know is a knowledge. You may not have done it, but you know it. Key, know. Experience means you have done it or experienced it. If you haven't done it, you have seen it being done. So it's an experience. Am I making sense? I want us to be on the same page. Experience means that you've seen it, you've been around it, you've felt it, you've seen it, you've done it. It could be one of those things, but knowledge means know. You may not have done it, you may have read it, so that's how you know it, or you saw someone do it, that's how you know it. But experience means you've seen it, you've done it. So those similar things, but not the same. Okay. That's pretty much it about that job. Any questions about this job? And escape the meeting marathon with 3 meeting free days. 3 meeting free days per week. That means that you guys will not have, you have 3 days, 3 days a week that you won't have any meetings. I think that will be Tuesday, Wednesday. Friday, no meetings. I think that's what most companies do. So that's it. Any questions about this job? That's it. That's perfectly exact. That's exactly what we're learning in class, right? Prometheus, graph, and all those things, right? So another one, 126. The thing is that I keep saying that they pay low, but that's not true, right? Everything you're learning in class here, you're gonna get something around this range. Minimum 120. You're gonna get minimum 120. I can guarantee you that. Because look at it, every job is, I don't see any job lower than that. Ability to work remote, no. Okay, that was in office, 8 to 5 p.m., Monday to Friday. Metrics technical skills, which is you know, that's hybrid in Dallas, hybrid in Austin, as remote. 65 an hour is 125 a year. Bay one in Dallas, contract type $110 an hour. That's 210,000, I think. 6 month contract. It's Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft is hiring. Oh wow. And Microsoft will always train you. 170,000, 250 a year. Wow, that's a lot of money. Yeah. Experience with Windows. Okay, let's go to Windows. And then you have Coinbase. Coinbase is a Bitcoin platform. They actually pay the highest. They pay a lot of money for some very, very easy work. It's very strange what they're doing. The Coinbase, they have money. So they have AWS, Azure, Google, Terraform, Datadog. Okay, Kibana, high throughput and low latency. Does it sound familiar? The things I say in class, does it sound familiar? Low latency, high throughput. Kwasi,
Yes, yes, yes.
it sounds familiar, right? So
Yeah.
we're learning the right things, guys. You got to believe in yourself. When you go apply to these jobs, don't be shy. You'll know the right things. You know what low latency is. You know what throughput is. When you speak to the recruiter, tell them that I've worked with systems that have low latency, high throughput. Microsoft again, Tech Connection. Akamai is a good company. One of my boys worked there. Joseph Glover is a VP over there, actually. He may not be involved. He cannot do anything. He's a VP. He's too high up. They will do all these things. Okay, cool. Roslyn, can you please post that project I sent to you? I don't know if you emailed it already. We'll talk about it at the end of class. Okay, let's log into EC2 Windows. Let me show you how to log in to EC2 Windows. Let me refresh my screen here. That's the Windows server. So I'm on a MacBook. And as we talked about, MacBook systems are a little bit different than Windows systems. Okay. Right. So that means if I have to connect from my MacBook to a Windows computer, I need to use a tool. I need to use a tool in the middle to connect to it. And that tool for MacBook is called, no, not PowerPoint, sorry. Microsoft Remote Desktop. It's called Microsoft Remote Desktop. That's what it is called. This tool right here. Microsoft Remote Desktop. Okay. So this is a tool only for Mac users to be able to use this to connect to Windows systems. So if I go to connect here, I'll see Session Manager, RDP client, or EC2 Serial Console. So the remote desktop, RDP stands for remote desktop client. And I'll download the file, this file right here. That's the file. And that's my username is administrator. To get the password, I need to click on get password. I'll upload that key pair that I downloaded from my downloads folder. my Windows key pair. And since the key pair was encrypted, I'm going to now decrypt it. This is a private key pair. This is what it looks like, right? 128 characters. Or more than that, actually. I don't know. 256. I don't know what I don't know this. I think it's 256. I'll decrypt the password, and then that's my password. So I'm going to copy this password. That's my username administrator. That file that I downloaded is supposed to open up my Windows server. So it's going to open up. I'm going to put my password, paste. I'm going to connect to it. Do you want to continue? Yes. And that's it. Logging into the Windows server. Now, for you to be able to log in, for you to be able to log in to an AWS system and like do specific things, like work on systems, especially in a private environment. If you're in a private environment, you have to log into a Windows server like this. The reason I say so is because some companies like AT&T, Verizon, Geico, Vanguard, they're very, very secure that they don't want you to log in from your laptop. They don't want you to log in from your laptop, your personal work laptop. They want you to log in into a Windows system like this in AWS. And then from here, you now access the AWS console. Does that make sense? That means that they'll have something called CyberArk. You log into an instance like this, and then from here, you now do your work. So that means you're within their network. You're within this public IP address, that's your private IP address, everything like that. So that's pretty much it. And then once you're here, ask me later. Once you're in here, to be able to see the tasks that are running on this server, you click on task here. Come on, it's very slow. Task manager. That's the way to look at Windows CPU and all that stuff, memory. Maybe it's here. Just gonna go here. It's kind of slow. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. So it's called Task Manager. Where is it? Right there. Windows Task Manager. Right. This is where you see the CPU, the issues going on that server, right? The processes, CPU memory right here. Right? So this is if you have to kill a process that's consuming too much CPU or memory on the server, right? You will come here, log into the server, you go to Task Manager, and you look for the specific agent or specific background process or the Windows process that's consuming too much CPU memory, and then you right click on it, and then you end the task, and that will kill the task, right? So in Windows, this is how we manage CPU and memory. You log into the Windows server, you go to Task Manager, and you're able to stop the task or see what's consuming so much resources. If they ask you in an interview, how do you know what processes or what's consuming too much CPU memory on a Windows server? You log into the Windows server, go to Task Manager, and then you go to this particular process, right? And you check it. For disk, for looking at disk, remember there are three things that we care about as SRAs, three main things. We care about memory, we care about CPU, we care about disk. For disk, you go to your file explorer like this, and you go to disk PC, you expand it, you will see multiple drives, right? You will see local drive C, you will see local drive D, drive E, drive F, right? This is a drive. It's a local disk drive. So you see that 5.50 gigabyte 3 of 29.5. So you look at this, right click it. It's very slow. That's the only thing with Windows. Windows is just slow. But this is how we do it. With Windows, it's easy because you don't have to do command line. All right. Windows is easy because you don't have to do command line. That's why Windows is very easy. Okay. And when you right click, you can just come in here and look at properties of that disk. And you can see use space in great detail and free space in great detail. You can do a disk cleanup. If they're like temporary files that are just sitting there consuming space, you can do a disk cleanup, or you can compress the disk to save space. When they'll ask you on a Windows server, how have you create space? How have you create space on the disk? You say, I do compression, right? Compression is going to compress the files on this disk to save space. And then pretty much that's it. That's pretty much it. If there's any issues with the disk, you can run the Windows disk error checking utility and other things. That's pretty much it with Windows. Any questions?
So if I get it, what you say, for Windows, we don't need to know Linux for that.
Come on, guys. Are you serious? What is Windows? What is Windows, Kwasi?
That is a software.
No, Windows is an operating system.
Oh, operating system. Yeah.
Come on, man. Do we know what we're doing here? What are we doing here? Come on, man. That question you asked was a very exact. Windows is an operating system. Linux is an operating system. In Windows, this is how you manage Windows. You log in. Windows is a graphical user interface. You have a Windows machine every day. How do you manage your Windows? Do you run any command line? No. You log into it, you see the disk, I'm showing you that to do memory and CPU, you go to a tool called Task Manager. You don't have to install it. Every Windows machine have it. Go to your machine right now and look for Task Manager. It's there. It will show you everything on your system. To look at disk, you come to your device. Linux is a different operating system. Linux doesn't have this interface that you see. With Linux, you have to use it using command line. It's two different things, man. Don't say that in an interview or anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, don't make us same again. Linux command line is for Linux. Windows have command line, but you don't need to do it. It's called PowerShell. They're gonna ask you in an interview, you know PowerShell, you're gonna say no, because most companies don't have it. Guys, in life, right? You have to stick to your plan. If you go to an interview and they ask you, do you know PowerShell? You say no. You go back and learn PowerShell, and you learn PowerShell, you know PowerShell. You go to another job, they ask you, do you know Fedora? You say no. You go back and you learn Fedora. You go to the next job, they ask you, do you know CentOS? You go back, you're never gonna get a job. You need to stick to what you know. Do not try to be a jack of all trades, master of none. You are a cloud SRE engineer, cloud support, cloud ops engineer. You're not a DevOps engineer. Don't accept to say you're a DevOps engineer and they ask you a question you're not going to get a job. Stick to your plan. Your plan is that you're a cloud SRE engineer. There are jobs out there for cloud SRE engineer. We have seen the jobs. We've seen what they're asking for. They're asking for Prometheus, Grafana, low latency, Datadog, Splunk. We're going to learn those things and go get those jobs. If the people that interviewing us are asking us extra things that's not on the job description, that's on them. Don't put it on you. Even in investments, we stick to our plan. The rule of investment says invest 1/6 of your income, your net income. That doesn't mean that if you have extra money, you're going to say, oh, I'm going to invest 2/6 of it. No, you're going to stick to your plan. You have to have a plan. You have to stick to your plan. Your plan is going to work. If you stick to it and follow it through, it's going to work. So there's something called PowerShell in Windows. It's the command line for Windows. But I'm saying to you that you don't need to know it because many companies don't use it. Very few people use PowerShell. This is the command line for Windows. They have their own cheat sheet. I don't normally teach it, because it's not in high demand. We can go look at jobs online. You can look at lots of jobs online. You can look at jobs, keep going. You're not going to see PowerShell. I can guarantee you. You can see one or two jobs here and there, but you're not going to see PowerShell. PowerShell. You can keep going. It's not going to be, you're not going to see PowerShell. It's not in high demand. Linux is used by 95% of companies in the world. Only 5% of companies use Windows. Okay, so we're going to we're going with what is in high demand. This is my server right here. So that's PowerShell. PowerShell is similar to like Linux. If you run on LS, you see all your directories, your file folders. If you don't need CD into documents like that, and you run an LS, you see everything. If you run an LS, there's no documents in here, right? So that's why I'm not showing anything. If you go to CD, you go back, you see where I'm at. It's similar to Linux, but not the same. Quite similar, but not the same, right? And looks as LTR fails. It's not a Linux, it's not a Windows command, but LS, so Linux command. CD into what you have downloads, for example. LS, like that. So that's all you need to know. Okay. As far as Windows is concerned. Any other questions? Please ask. If you're not understanding, please ask, guys. Better for us to make a mistake here than go out there and make a mistake.
Okay, Dibo, when you were connecting, I mean, connecting to the instance, you said if you're using a Mac, you need to connect through, you need to have the RD,
Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft,
the
yeah.
remote, yeah. So
Mhm.
now for us who do
Windows.
not
You don't have to have this software because you're connecting from Windows to Windows. It's very easy. Your laptop has something called remote desktop already installed in Windows. You already have it installed in your machine. For Windows users, it's very easy to connect. You're just gonna open up remote desktop, put the IP and connect. We're about to do it right now. That's about what we're going to do next. So Isabel, get ready, share your screen. I'm going to leave my system open, but Isabel's going to create a Windows system, and then we're going to connect to it. Okay. Isabel, have you logged into AWS?
Yes, I'm logging already, but I cannot share. You have to give me access to share.
Okay. Yeah. So any questions, guys, before you go out and you guys go out and do this? Any questions, please?
I have another question. Okay, this instance, if another user want to connect to the instance, will he use my key pair or he will create?
No, that's a good question. Very good question. I'm happy you asked that question. Let's go here. If another person want to connect to this instance, right? They will come here. Come on, stuff is slow today. Okay, if you scroll down here, you go to key pairs. Right here. So look at all this. My Windows key pair. You see that? Actions. He cannot do anything with that key pair. Okay. So on the job, most of the times we don't really use key pairs on shared servers because of this issue Isabel just brought up. If another person want to connect to this server, are they going to use their key pair? The answer is no. We don't share keys, similar to how we don't share password. So on the job, for anyone to connect to this Windows server, connect. There's something called Session Manager. Session Manager or EC2 Serial Console that we configure that they're going to use to connect to the server. Right now, it's not configured, but most companies will connect Session Manager that you'll use to connect to it. Or if you click on this right here, you can, there's sometimes if we create a shared server, this is just sometimes, not all the time. We'll create a key that everyone in the company can use. Okay? We'll create a key that everyone in the company can use. So where do we store that key? Good question. There's something called key pass. Key pass. Key pass is a tool where we store password. This is on premise, right? Key pass is a place where we can store passwords. We store keys, store passwords in there. When you want to connect to the server, you log into KeyPass, you grab the key, download it, use it to connect to this instance. That's only in a situation where we do not configure session manager. But the method of connecting using the key is not safe because if you lose that key, then what happens? Your company is compromised, right? If you lose that key, your company is compromised. So that's one thing that we are very cautious of, right? So that's the answer to that. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Did that answer your question, Isabel? So if another person wants to connect to that instance, what they will do is they'll use such someone that connect to it like this. Even for Linux, it's the same thing. Most companies use session manager. We haven't configured it because obviously everyone is using their own instance. But if I wanted all of you to connect to one instance, I'll create a I'll create you guys users within my account. Then I'll have you guys pretty much, connect to my account like that using that method.
Okay, so does that mean that both of you will have the same CPU because it's the same window, right? It means you have the same CPU and memory.
Yes. If you connect to this server right here, right? This server, right? If you connect to this server, right? Yeah, you'll be able to come in here, you'll be able to see the users. If you go here to where is it? Users, where is users right here? If you open up users, you're able to see the next person connected. You'll see Kwasi, you'll see Roslyn, you'll see Chris, you see their names here. So instead of on Linux, you run who am I or who to see who's connected to that server. And Linux in Windows, you come to users and you see who's connected here. That's it. And then you can come here, you can create users as well, right? You can come here and create folders for various users so that if each user connects to the server, they have their own folder. So whatever I'm doing in this machine now, I'm doing it under administrator. So under administrator, I have my own documents, downloads, everything. If you connect as Isabel, you have your own folder. You have your own Windows, everything under that. So that's how we're able to use a shared server, all of us, without having any conflict. Good questions, very good question. So I'm gonna pause recording. You can stop sharing. You can start sharing. Okay, yeah. So go ahead and launch instance. So give it a name. My Windows server, yes, scroll down. So choose on Windows operating system. Guys, I hope everyone is following. Isabel, stop. Guys, do you want to go ahead and create this while she's creating it right now? Or you got it figured out? You want to create it while she's creating it? Yes? Okay. Let's all do it together. Let's do it together. So, Isabel, scroll up. Okay. She shows Windows. No, scroll up. No. Up. Up. All the way to the top. So she named the server my Windows server. Okay. In launch instance, scroll down. The Windows, she shows Windows. Then you're going to choose Microsoft Windows 2016. Yeah, yeah, create a new keypad, call it my Windows keypad. Okay. Is everybody following? Isabel, you're going too fast. You're going too fast. You're going too fast. Is everybody there? Come on, guys, talk to me. Is everybody there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So click on security, create new security group, allow RDP traffic, allow HTTPS on the internet. Okay, then scroll down. Then launch instance. Okay, and that's it. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay, Isabel, why is go click on connect, scroll down, RDP client. So with this, we're going to download that file. Well, let's wait for it to finish, right? It's still creating. We cannot, if we connect to it, we cannot connect, it's still creating. So, but in the meantime, let's try to get the password. No, get password.
They say we have to wait 4 minutes.
So yeah, there we go. Any questions so far while we're waiting for this? Any questions on anything? Isabel, do you have the notes for the SRE notes open on your system? The PDF, the SRE, maybe we can continue while that server is creating. The SRE notes, the PDF, not that one. The notes with everything we've been doing, right? Production SRE, it's called Production SRE. Production SRE. It's called Production SRE. Oh,
Nice production support.
there you go. Thank you, Kwasi. Production support. There you go. So we ended with yeah, so go down. We ended where we ended with the verticals of monitoring. Keep going. Mhm. So we know that we're monitoring security, we're monitoring system health, application health, database, and application functionality. What is system health? What is system health? Health. What is system health? When you say system health, what do you look at when you say system health? What are the metrics defined behind system health?
I would say a system that does not have any latency.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm saying, what do we look at? If you want to look at the system health, what do you look at?
The RAM or disk usage.
Mm.
CPU.
Well, in 2024, by the way, Kobe, but so what is RAM called in 2024?
Memory,
There you go. What else you look at system health?
CPU.
Yep. What else? Disk usage. Kobe already mentioned disk usage. Yes. What else? Yeah, Chris. Yeah, you got to be able to speak, bro. In the interview, you're not gonna send your answer to the chat. If you're in a place where you can't speak, then I don't know, man. You got to be able to speak. Because if you don't speak here in class, guys, I don't know how are you gonna speak in an interview. You've never spoken before. That's the point. I don't know if you don't speak here. How do you speak in an interview? I don't know, man. All I know is the students who didn't speak in class, when they got to the interview, they couldn't talk.
No, I got you, but I just wasn't going to talk over everybody else while we were also answering the questions. So I just tuned
Yeah,
in.
no, you
Yeah.
have to talk. You have to. The culture here is you have to talk. You have to cut people off if you have to, or wait for them to finish. Yeah, it just practice make perfect. The more you say these things here, the more you speak. Yeah, when it comes to interview, you've really said it before. You've really practiced it before, so you're not going to struggle. So, what else is done in system health? What makes the system healthy? Come on, guys. We did this yesterday on Monday. We did talk about it on Monday, actually. You'll say disk, CPU, memory. What else? There's one more thing left. I just complained about it on myself today. Isabel, go to the next page. Go to system health slide.
Storage.
I am biased just waking up from sleep now. What is here? What do you guys see here? Do you see
Net,
network? You see
net,
network? Mm-hmm. You see firewall? And Windows systems have firewall. It's just you're not studying, man. You're not studying, guys. I'll be giving you resumes very soon. After Thanksgiving, I'll be issuing out resumes. You begin applying for jobs. And when you go on the interview, they'll ask you the same questions. You'll not be able to answer because you haven't studied. But the answer is in the notes. So it's up to you. Isabel, go back to the EC2 instance. It's really up to you. I cannot do anything else. I'm teaching the right things. You just have to study. The jobs are out there. Trump is about to boost the economy. Upload that key that you downloaded. Gonna get the password for this server. It's probably gonna be in downloads. I'll be already following what we're doing. I see your Windows keypad right there. Open it. Scroll down. Decrypt the password. Scroll down. That's your password. Copy it. Nice. Download that file. Remote desktop file. Download it. You see right there, the little icon next to it. The little icon next to it to the left, right there. No, to the left, right there. That means that your Windows machine already has Windows desktop. Already has it. So we're gonna click that. And there you go. Boom. It's gonna open up automatically. You don't have to install anything because you're in a Windows machine. Put your password in there, paste the password there, and connect. Are you sure the password is correct? Copy it again. Click on more choices. Scroll down. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. You can use a different account. Yeah, type administrator. Just administrator, yes. Then, yeah, password. Okay. Yes. And that's it. You're connected.
So what just happened? Why could I not, why was it not possible to connect with other?
You have another account in there called NTIC/administrator. I don't know where that came from. That's why you couldn't connect to it. Okay.
Excuse me, I didn't see how she got connected so quickly.
Let's see. Can you go to like balcony or someplace, man? Very, very loud where you are. Jesus Christ, man. It's very loud. Isabel, can you go back and connect again? To say you didn't see how you connected. You can close it and go connect again, please. Explain. Be a teacher for 5 minutes. Explain to them. Go ahead. This builds your confidence, eh? When you're able to speak to people in a room like this, it builds your confidence to be able to speak in an interview in front of three. Imagine that three people are interviewing you at once. You
Okay.
know?
Okay. After creating my Windows server, we click on connect. You have to use the RDP client to connect. You need to generate your password that will be useful to connect to the Windows
Server.
server. Now, first you upload this. Yes, you select my Windows keypad, the keypad that you created earlier.
Yeah, you upload your key pair.
Yeah.
But go a little bit slower. I think you're too fast. You upload.
Okay. After uploading the keypad, you click on decrypt password. This will generate your password. You then copy the password and you click on download remote desktop. This is a download the remote desktop. You click on it. Click on connect. The password that you just copied, you paste it here.
No, you have to change your account. Yeah. You're gonna page it. You have the correct one. No, go back. But yeah, okay, go ahead. Type administrator.
Okay. You type,
Administrator.
you paste the password and click on OK.
Paste the password. Connect. Is everybody there? Click yes, connect, Isabel. And that's it. And then now when we want to connect, when we want to see memory and CPU, where do we go to?
Task,
Mm-hmm.
man-
Task
task
manager.
manager.
So type it, task manager. And that's it. It's just CPU and memory. If you want to kill, if you want to end the task that is consuming too much memory, what do?
You right click on the task and you end task. Click on end task.
Okay. Try one, right there, end the first one. Right there, right click, and then click end task. And that's it, it's gone. Cool. And then what do you do if you want to see the disk usage?
Go to file.
File Explorer. Uh-huh.
But it's slow. So,
Yeah, it's slow, yeah.
okay. You go to this PC. Local disk.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Properties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from here you can compress the drive. You can, the memory. I mean the disk usage and compress the drive if necessary. Mm. That's all I know. I can remember.
Yeah, that's fine. Good job. Good job. That's it. You can stop sharing. Okay, guys, let's take a what, 5-10 minute break? Or should we keep going? Thank you, Isabel. That's pretty much it, right? Where I was able to create Windows. This is the Windows. That's about EC2 Windows. We're not going to revisit again. We can create an applications with it, but that's pretty much it. Do you want to take a little break or want to just continue? It's up to you guys. If you want break in the chat, just type break. And okay, pause recording. We can start doing the practicals and hands-on for the reporting, for the monitoring stuff, or we can just finish up the theory parts and then we just focus on the practicals and then we'll refer back to the theory. Which one do you guys prefer? Let's finish up the notes first, right? So that when we start doing these tools, we just focus on these tools, correct? Or we'll do the tools one by one. Hmm. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the notes.
Let's finish
Finish
the
up.
notes first, right? Okay. So
Mhm.
let's do that. So as we know, these are the only things that you're going to talk about in the interview. You're going to talk about that you'll be monitoring security, system health, application health, database health, application functionality health. So please, I'm going this over for the second time. Let's really focus and know exactly what is behind each of these things. So that when I ask you in an interview, when you say system health, what do you mean? You're not surprised what system health is. Please pay close attention. I'll ask everybody to put their cameras on, but I trust you guys to be paying attention. I trust you guys. When it comes to security, this is the thing that you monitor. You're going to monitor account credentials, infrastructure access. Infrastructure access means those who are connecting to our servers. That is what means. Infrastructure means servers. Infrastructure is the servers. Infrastructure is the servers. Infrastructure is the server. A building is an infrastructure. A bridge is an infrastructure. Infrastructure means anything physical. Okay? A server even though it's virtual, it's an infrastructure because it's sitting somewhere. Okay. Phishing attack. What is phishing? Those trying to hack us, those sending us those fake emails. They'll send you an email saying that your grandfather left you an inheritance of 100 million. Click this link to claim it. When you click that link, they'll be able to get an agent that will enter your laptop and start spying on you. Okay? So that's something that you want to that's something that you want to be cautious about, right? So we want to monitor that phishing attack patterns. When we start seeing an email that is from Best Buy, but it's not really from Best Buy, the Best Buy logo doesn't look like that. That's a phishing attack. Access from an unusual location. When users are logging in from Syria or from Ukraine, we'll look at the logs to see the login patterns, right? Unauthorized deployment. When you create something without an approval, you deploy an application without a peer approval, that's unauthorized deployment. Patterns of API access incidents, right? So different things that be happening. We want to see consistency in the logs. And when you look at the logs, and I talk about logs, you know what logs are, right? What's a log? What is a log? What is a system log? What is a log, guys?
A session start and end time.
Yes, that is correct. That's what a log is. Let's see, performance. So in Windows, you look at performance as well here, right? You see, this is CPU, this is memory, this is the network. So on that server, you look on performance, you see the performance of the network right here. You can see. So the users only have one user connected right now. Details, you got services that are connected to the server. I'm trying to show you what the logs are. So Windows system logs, system logs, system logs. Or just logs, short logs. What's logs? This is the system. Right click. Right click is not working. Open services. Windows is slow. Properties. Log. Allow service and recovery dependencies. Anyway, logs are pretty much like if I go to here and I look for logs on my system here, logs are pretty much, if I go to like locate dot logs. Logs are simple, just a representation of everything happening on that server at a specific given point in time, right? That's what logs are, right? So logs just shows you like everything happened on that system, the time that happened, where it happened, which user. That's what logs are, okay? So logs are what Prometheus collects from the application instances and then sends to the alert manager to alert you that, hey, you have high CPU. We're going to look into logs a little bit more detail. I thought we did already when we do CloudWatch logs, but so I think we did that already when we do CloudWatch logs right here, right? I want to show you an example of a log. I thought we did that right here. A log. This is what a log looks like, right? This is what the log looks like right here. All right. So you have the IP address, what happened, right? What kind of HTTP request was it? What kind of request? Was a GET request? What object were they trying to get? They're going to get this image. What type was it? Protocol, HTTP. Success code is 200. Process ID was 54329. So a log collects all this information. So Prometheus goes and collect these logs, the dates, timestamp, everything, and send to you. And if anything is, so you can create an alert that if this success code is not 200, if it's any other number, like 400, 200, any other 400, 300, 405, 405, 404, any other number, if it's not this number, right? If it's not this number, then it should go ahead and send you an alert. So this is good. 200 means is okay, everything is successful. Means that the request that was sent got a response, right? They got a successful response. So that's what this is. Okay. That's what logs are. So let's continue. So all these things are going to be looking at the security monitoring logs. So how do we monitor them? We're going to be monitoring the SPI, sensitive personal information, data encryption, right? For those companies that use credit cards that have social security numbers involved in them, we're going to be monitoring those things. We're going to monitor failed login attempts. We're going to have, say, if there are more than 5 failed login attempts within 24-hour period, send us a notification, right? Means below 5 is okay, but anything above 5 failed login attempts for a specific user, send us a notification. That means someone is trying to log into the account that doesn't have access. So we're going to get notified about that. Geolocation mapping from IP. This is what companies use to detect where you're logging in from. For those companies that don't want you to work out of the United States, they have this geolocation mapping from IP. So they'll know your IP address, and then they'll block you to connect to the application, right? So the way around to walk around that, you have a static router. It's called a travel router, and you map the Airbnb or the hotel's Wi-Fi to that router. Then you connect to that router, and then you connect the Wi-Fi to the router, and then you connect to the router. The router can give you a fixed IP that shows you in the United States, right? So then you look at error codes, vulnerability scanning, antivirus updates, latest patch installation as well, right? So look at all the security things. These are all security. For system health, we'll talk about it more times. The most important one in system health, I cannot stress how important this is. CPU utilization, server ping tests, server load average, file system usage, firewall, network, memory utilization. These are all commands. You should know these commands off head. Top command, du-h, df-h, TCP dump commands, ping commands, DNS command, D commands, free-m, free-g, right? It measures percentage of the CPU utilization, load average, percentage of memory utilization, server ping test, which is the data loss, data packet loss, percentage of system use, network, data loss between source and destination, which is clients and server. The client is the source, the server is the destination. The client is the source, server destination. It's always client to server. It's never server to client. Client sends a response to server, server response, right? Firewall access logs. So firewall is used to protect us from having unauthorized access to people who are outside of our network. That's a firewall. So these tools will help us, right? Nagios, Azure Monitor, Grafana, Prometheus, Amazon CloudWatch, App Dynamics. We're not going to do all of them, but we're going to do the most important ones. Obviously, the Prometheus and Grafana are important. CloudWatch and maybe Azure Monitor or Nagios. Okay. Application health, we're not going to do very much of this. This is just real-time application monitoring, application performance metrics. This ties very, very much with system health, right? If the system is not healthy, the application will not be healthy. So if you start seeing application health drop, you need to also look at the system health, because it's like your body. If you're not feeling well, then you cannot perform any work, right? So you need to start checking your blood pressure, your vitamin levels, all those things, right? So your application health ties was look like closely with system health. So you're looking at the response time, the end user experience, time consuming transactions. When the user click on pay and it's taking too long to pay, what's happening? Is there a heavy load on the server? So we look at the server load average, right? That could be causing the server to be slow. That's why the system is not clicking on, it's not going to pay, right? So look at the cross application tracing, health, the port URL monitoring. You have garbage collection monitoring for Java applications. And again, you can look at use app dynamics, Dynatrace, networking to monitor this type of metrics. These are metrics, okay? These are metrics. They're called metrics. Then you have application functionality. So application flow, API response. Again, it ties with the application as well. The application has so much monitoring because the application is the main thing. The application is the main thing in the business. The application is the main thing. So you have the application flow, business logic, error codes, look at that. Response time, failure rate, anomaly detection. Okay. So these tools like Dynatrace, AppDynamics, Splunk help with that. And in databases, of course, this is where information is stored. Critical database and monitoring elements include replication lag from the primary to the standby database, open connections, IOPS, expensive queries, throughput, right? You want to have high network throughput. You want to have a low disk space usage. So if we have a high disk space usage, but we're not doing many things, it could be just temporary files that are occurring, right? It could be just temporary files. So we have to go ahead and pretty much compress those files, run the db-h command, see what we can compress the files, see what we can save space in the files. And I'm also going to be looking at the errors within the database. Looking at the errors in the database is not a big deal. As long as the error within the database doesn't cause any issues, it's fine. Databases have errors all the time. You have warning errors. But when you start saying warning for 2-3 months, then we want to look into what those warnings are and fix the issue. Okay? Any questions so far? For databases, we use CloudWatch, we use Oracle, Azure, Monitor, Oracle Enterprise Manager. Splunk is a good one for databases, Splunk and Azure. So look at those two. And that's it, right? Effective alerting. Without alerts, we will not know what's going on. Without alerts, we'll not know what's going on. So we have to always look at alerts. We have to always make sure that we configure our email to send us alerts so that we can get alerts. So we'll have various results, categories of alerts, right? So the alerts, you can be proactive and get alerts for warnings so you can take action before it happens that may or may not have impact, right? Or you can be proactive for potential risk, right? So you can look at the growth rate. For example, growth rate of disk. How fast is this growing? How fast is CPU utilization growing? The response time between when you send a request to server, how long it takes to respond. Then you have leakage, something called memory leakage. That because the application is consuming too much memory, it can cause a leakage of memory. Memory can be leaking. It's similar to when you drive the car too much, the car has an engine oil leak. So when you use the server too much, the server experiences a memory leak. Yes, it's a real thing. When you drive a car too much without maintenance, the car experiences an engine leak and you have an oil leaking in your engine. If you use the server too much without maintaining the server, without restarting the server, without disconnecting from the server, connections, killing processes, those things, maintaining the server, patching it, updating it, running an upgrade, you will experience a memory leak. Memory will start leaking. So that's one thing that you need to know about. That's something that they might ask in the interview, but it's an advanced topic. Memory leaks is an advanced topic. You can read more about it if you want to. I can give you a link to read more about it. Memory leaks on Linux servers. You can read more about it if you want to. Right? What's the performance scalability in Linux application? Memory occur when the program allocated memory fails to free it when it's no longer needed. So that's why you have to maintain the server, because it can allocate memory to a process, and then when the process is done, it doesn't free the memory, it holds the memory, so the memory is leaking. That's what we call memory leaks. Okay, you can read more about it if you want to. And then reactive is what we're trying to react after the issue is already occurred. So it's reactive. The damage is caused already. So that time we're trying to log in now to fix the issue. So the better side to be is being proactive. Well, that's what we'll say. Is to be proactive. Right? Most of the time we're not proactive, right? Being proactive, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, guys. You have to be maintaining and looking at the alerts that come in and say, oh, this is going to grow by 100% in the next 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and open up a ticket and add more space now before like 2 weeks time it's going to grow, right? So I've been on call. I've been in a job this year. I've been in a job this year where the base salary was $220,000 with a 25% bonus. So 25% of 20,000, 220 was a bonus. But I wasn't on call. I was on call every 2 months for 7 days straight. That means from Monday 9 a.m. you'll be on call until the following Monday 9 a.m. I did it for 1.5 years and I couldn't do it anymore. And I quit. So honest with you, you don't quit remote jobs like that, but it's not easy at all. Every 2 weeks, every 2 months, because we're 8 of us on the team. So every week somebody's on call for 7 days straight. And I mean on call, it means 24/7. From Monday, there's a handoff. The person who was on call previously will hand off to you on Monday at 9 a.m., hand off to you. So you receive about 17 tickets that they handed off to you. You have to resolve all those tickets, and then new tickets will come in. When issues come in, you acknowledge the issue, you escalate it, assign to people to help you, and then Friday night, something happens, your phone rings. Saturday night, you cannot go anywhere. Sunday, you're only at home all the time. If you go to the store, you will rush back and come to the house to fix the issue, So it's one of those things where um it's a high paying job, but it's also very stressful. So be very careful when you take on call jobs. You can do it for a while, but I don't know how long you can do that for. Because if it was 20 people or 21 people, then you probably every 3 months or every 6 months. That's not bad. There are only 8 people in the team. That means every week, that's 8 weeks. So every week, so rotate. Every 2 months is too soon, right? So powerful alert management is very important. Step-by-step action plan, store at a common place. All the logs are stored in the common log place so everyone can access the logs. And then whom to notify when alert triggers, rate of occurrence, right? I could say we want to monitor these two high things, critical and high, right? So let's talk about the SRA fundamentals. SLO, SLA, SLI, and error budget. These things are the things that guide us. So everything we just talk about, like the alert manager, severity, the threshold. Threshold stands for the level at which you want to monitor. If we want to monitor CPU, for example, we want to monitor CPU at 80%. That means that everything above 80%, we're going to get an alert. Anything under 80%, we're not going to get an alert. Or anything above 60%, we're going to get a medium alert. Medium, because it's above 60%, it's not too bad. When it reaches 80%, we'll get a high alert. Now, when it reaches 90%, we'll get a critical alert, and that's the one that everyone's phone is ringing. Everybody's receiving a text message because it's critical. So at 60% CPU, we're going to get a medium alert. At 80%, we're going to get a high alert. This is separate email. At 90%, we're going to get a critical alert. So you can have these various, right? And then you at 40% is low. So 40%, 60%, 80%, 90%. These numbers that I'm calling they are called thresholds. Okay? They are called thresholds. So they ask you in an interview that what is your CPU threshold? Oh, we have a CPU threshold. The high threshold is at 80%. The critical threshold is at 90%. That's your answer. The high threshold is at 80%. The critical threshold is at 90%. That's your answer. Same thing for CPU, same thing for memory, disk storage, everything. Keep the same thresholds. That way you don't forget. Okay? Keep the same thresholds, guys. Keep the same threshold. Let me type it down for you guys. Or let me put it in the notes. Low is 40%. Medium, 60%. High, 80%. Critical, equal to 90%. Okay? Any questions so far? So all this we've talked about, what guides us, what helps us to pick the right numbers is the service level objectives, service level agreement, and the service level indicator. So these are things they're going to ask you as well in an interview. So you make sure that you follow. Make sure to pay attention to this. Service level objective is a predefined objective SRE team or its application needs to meet. An objective is a goal, right? It's a goal that we need to meet. Like we need to receive this, we need to achieve this, right? So, for example, we need to achieve, we want to keep CPU down below 80% at all times. That's our service level objective. That's pretty much it. Simple as that. A service level objective is a goal. It's a goal that we want to always make sure we achieve that goal. Okay? It's a goal that we always want to make sure we achieve that goal. That's what a service level objective is. Okay? So for example, we want to make sure that our disk space is less than 80% or less than 40% at all times. That's a service level objective. It's a predefined objective that the team all needs to meet. Another example of a service level objective is that we want our servers to be up. In a year, our servers should be up 363 days. So if we want to calculate, calculator, 363 days in a year, that's just a number. So if we want to say 363 days in a year divided by 365 times 100, it means our SLO is 99.5%. We want to round up the 4 to 5 because we want our server to be up. We want our server to be up, 99.5% of the time. Means it translates to 90. It translates to 90. It's 363 days a year. That means only 2 days can be off. That means only 2 days can be off, right? Or can be down for only 2 days. That might be too low. Some companies want it higher than that. They want it to be more than that. They want it to be like 364.5 days. Okay. Okay, so that's what some companies may want. Any questions about SLO? Any questions on SLO? Is it understood? Is SLO clear? These are the key things about SRE, guys. These are like the key things on SRE. Like the main thing about SRE. This is it. Okay, so after SLO, another thing that we need to decide is the service level agreement. The service level agreement is the agreement between the client and the SRE team. When you work for a company like Geico, your clients are the application team. Your clients are the people that use the services, that use the application. For example, if you work for Geico.com, your clients are going to be the Geico product team, the auto insurance team, the people who create auto insurance and sell to customers. The marketing team are your customer, is your clients. The home insurance team for home, for auto. If you work with Progressive, it's going to be the same thing. Your clients are going to be the department that creates insurance, that sells insurance. Your clients are the sales agents. Your clients are going to be the adjusters. They use your application. So you're going to have a service level agreement with them that says that this service will be up and running 99.5% of the time. That's an agreement that you guys will make between you, two of you. I work for an insurance company. We have sales agents that sell insurance. Our SLA is 99.5%. So what does that do? What does that mean? 99.5% means that the services should be up. So when I say services, I mean the application, right? The application should be up 99.5% equivalent to 363 days a year. Some leap year, in a leap year, it will be 364 because a leap year has 366 days, right? That means February has 29 days. I think next is a leap year. I might be wrong. I think so. Yeah. So that's how you calculate it, the SLA. So the SLA here can be 99.5%. Then the SLO is also 99.4%, 0.5%. But that doesn't mean that they're the same thing. The objective is what we, the SRE team, tries to meet. We try to meet that SLA, right? We, the SRE team, try to meet that SLA. That's our objective. Us, we are the service SRE team. We try to meet an SLA of having CPU under 80% at all times. Okay? Whereas the service level agreement is an agreement between us and our clients, the product team, the agents who use our services, who say it's going to be up this amount of time. Okay? And then the SLI, service level indicator, is the actual performance metric. So the actual performance metric, like, for example, if we go here to system health, the actual metric is 80%. That's a service level indicator. That's the difference between SLO, SLA, and SLI. They will ask you this in an interview. Every company has it set. It's pretty much set. Okay? It's pretty much set, right? You set it when you get the company, it will be set. So, we will pick 99.5% for SLO and for SLA, and we'll stick to that. And so in your interviews, use 99.5% and stick to that number, okay? But be able to explain who are your clients. Your clients are the people that you serve or that you do work for them, okay? Any questions so far? And the service level indicator is the actual metric. They'll say, what is the service level indicator for CPU? For service level indicator for CPU, it's 80% at a high metric. That's a high number. 90% is a critical number. Any questions on these things? This is very important. This is like the main thing in SRE world. Any questions? No? Is it understood? Okay, let me ask. What is SLI?
You say SLR is the actual performance metrics.
No, for example, give me an example of an SLI.
For example, the disk usage level or the CPU level can be at 60%, 80%.
Okay. Then what is the SLA?
Is the agreement between your client. Client can be the production team, the application team, marketing department.
Okay, good. What is SLO? And give us an example of an SLO.
The service level objective, like the objective that was defined before, and the objective that has to be met by the SRE.
Met by the SRA, for example.
Mm-hmm. What?
For example.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for example, the maximum
Wait, stop.
usage.
I want others to speak. Kobe, give me an example of an SLO. Others need to speak in class. Come on, man. Kobe. He's not even there. Kobe is not there. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. You see? He's not in class. He's not paying attention. Can someone give me an example of an SLO? Guys, you're all adults. Don't waste your time, guys. If you don't want to be in a class, please save yourself some time and you can quit. Others have quit. This class started with 15 people, right? You see now only 7 of us here. That's okay. I actually like when people quit. You know why? Because that's how we know that only the strong survive. If everyone is rich, those of us who are rich will not feel good. So quit and go. So let's few of us become rich, and then you that are not rich who will feel important. We're driving the fancy cars, we're living the fancy life, and we'll post on Instagram and Facebook and we'll start WhatsApp or Snapchat, and then you look at us and then you're like, oh, he's good. I want to be like him. That makes us feel good. Trust me. There are only 35,000 millionaires in America, but America has 300 million people because people quit every day. People give up too easily. The new generation, this life, people give up too easily. Back in the days, our grandparents were working in factories, picking sugarcane, picking corn to send us to school. My father was a farmer and sent me to school from farming. They were here in the classroom, in the comforts of our home, learning some technology that will give us 6 figures. Doctors go to school for 7 years. Medical doctors go to school for 7 years to come out and make 150. You're sitting at home in the comfort of your home, taking a class for 4 months to learn something that is very easy if you put effort to it, to make 150K, the same as a medical doctor. And you have no student loans. And you have a full 40-hour, you have a scholarship. You're taking the class for free. And then you're not even paying attention to the class at all. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. There's a new show on Netflix, new season on Netflix or something. Go watch it. And then some of us who are going to get rich from this class, we're going to become friends with you, and we'll post on Instagram. You're going to see, I'm like, I could have been like that guy. Come on, guys. I'm going to end class on that note. All right. I'm going to end class. There's no point of